Hi everyone. I hope you all are doing good. I'm Govind Dixit, a former GSoC student and a mentor at Rocket.Chat. Today, the title of my presentation is Demystifying GSoC Tips for a Successful Proposal. So, I will be sharing some tips which have helped me in getting selected for GSoC twice, and I will be sharing my experience from the mentor's perspective also. I'm considering our today's audience consists of a mixed set of folks, like the new contributors and the experienced ones. So for the respect of time, I won't be covering the basic things about GSoC eligibility criteria and all things. For these things, I will highly recommend to check out the official site. Okay, so now coming next, let's straight dive to the next slide, tips for the students. So the first tip which I want to give is to start early and remain associated with the project. So there are multiple advantages to starting early. You have a deeper understanding of the project. Apart from that, you have also get a good time to spend with the community and build a good relationship with them. So you should definitely start early. If you have not started till yet, you should start today. So the next tip from my side would be becoming familiar with Git and GitHubs and follow the best practices related to your project. So these are the some few tools like Git and GitHub you should be definitely familiar with, as you will be using these tools day and night across your open source journey, and after that also you will be using them. The third tip would be start with good first issues. So we got a lot of message from the new contributors. They are in the dilemma of like how to start contributing to the project. They say that the code is so big, they are not able to find any issue. So you can start with some good first issue. I remember at my time, I have started with a simple color change issue. I think I remember that a simple one-liner change, but I think that has given me a good amount of confidence for my next contributions. The next step would be to be active with your contribution, engage with the community, and ask for help whenever required. Yeah, it's pretty straightforward. Like you have to engage with the community, you have to help new contributors which are new to the project. You have to help them getting onboarded. You have to, if they are having any questions, like setting the code locally, so you should definitely help them. The next thing would be your idea implementation with your potential mentor. So once you have done enough contribution to the code base and you are set that you would be participating in GSoC and you have your project ready, you should definitely discuss the implementation or the idea with your potential mentor. And the last thing for the students should be like get your proposal reviewed. As we all know that the application time period has already started. So I would recommend everyone to write a draft proposal and send to your mentors for the review. It will definitely help you, as their feedbacks will definitely help you in improving your proposal. Okay, so the next few things are from my mentor's perspective. As you all know that deciding a student for a GSoC is a serious job for them. As we all know that slots are limited, the Google's provided limited slots to each organization, and they have to select the best possible candidate for each project. So there are few expectations which mentors have from their student. So let's covers a few of them. So a mentor definitely want his student to have a good understanding of the code base. Like you would be working around 140-45 days on the same project. So you should having understanding of like all the like what is the architecture of the project, what are the how test cases run. You should have a good understanding of that. Apart from that, you should also follow best practices and write scalable code. Like whatever the contributions you do, you should always follow best practices and think about that this code will remain here for a longer amount of time, and a multiple and like can be a thousand or million of the user will be using that code base. So you should write the code from that perspective. The third thing would be like active contribution to the code base. Similar to like I mentioned earlier, a mentor will definitely look for a student who have already done enough contribution to the code base. So if you are new to the like ecosystem, you have chances. But if someone is contributing from a very long time, then he will definitely gonna win there. Apart from that, you should, like what I mentioned earlier, you should have active participation in the communication channel. You should discuss all the issues, all the new feature which we are working on. You should discuss on the channel itself. The next would be respect the time of your mentor. Yeah. So basically, you should not jump into, like, you should not message your mentor like for the beginners issue. You should first try to resolve on your own. If you are not able to find, like, get them resolved, you should uh, post them on the general channel where others can also look at it and like help you. And in the worst case, if you are not able to move anything, then you should definitely ask a mentor. Okay, so now I will showcase my proposal of the GSoC 2020 which I have submitted. I think it should be visible to all of you. Okay, so as you can see, my title of my project was to create an F-Droid build for React Native Android app and CI jobs automation. And my mentors were Diego Mello and Zorkef Alexandri. So I have mentioned the mentors and the title at the beginning. After that, I have written an introduction where I have mentioned few introduction about like what is the project is, and like why we need what is the requirement of this project. So I have mentioned it in introduction. After that, I have mentioned the project goals, like what are the goals of this project, what are we trying to achieve in this GSoC period. I clearly mentioned there. After that, like I have also mentioned what is the current scenario, what is the current state of the project, like whatever changes we are going to make. So we have to first know what is the current state of the project. So I have mentioned it here. After that, I have just started with the implementation. The project was a huge one, so I have decided into it. I have decided to divide it into some like multiple subtasks. So like the first subtask here is the creating F-Droid build. So like I have researched on like how to create an F-Droid build and like put it down here with all the nuances which we can face while implementing the idea. So like I have mentioned all those things in the proposal. That will help my mentor to understand like what's the level of understanding I am having with the implementation. This will definitely give this has definitely have given me some brownie points whenever my mentor was reviewing the proposal, because I have also covered the cases where things can go wrong. After that, like I have, as you can see that I have put it the code snippets. So this is one more advice I want to give. So like don't keep your proposal just characters only. You have to put the code snippets also to showcase your mentor that you are actually into the code. So whenever required, just put the code snippets, like what are the changes you would be making, just put it in the proposal itself. So as you can see here, I have already mentioned like what are the changes I will be making to those files. So since the implementation was change heavy, so I have mentioned only the key changes which I will be gonna do. So these are all the changes like I mentioned. So apart from that, like as you can see, the second subtask was to update the app on F-Droid. So for that, I also have for that task also I have done a good amount of research. I have gone to the F-Droid repo, like how they create how they accept the new contribution to the F-Droid, how they update the app. So I have already mentioned all these things in my proposal also. Like whatever have we have to do, what are the steps we will be gonna have to do in order to achieve this task, like forking the main data repository, making required changes in the metadata file of existing Rocket.Chat app, and making a post there. So these things I have clearly mentioned so that after that, like there are some extra tasks which I have decided to pick up. These are apart from my like I have uh, I have gone forward to like pick up extra tasks if the time permits me. So I have also mentioned these tasks there. So like I will be improving the test pipelines. I will be adding a new pipeline to build the code is changed. For that also, I have mentioned what are the changes I will be gonna do for that. This is also some extra task which I have decided to pick, since I understand I would be able to finish the project in some initial phases. So I have decided some extra tasks which I will be gonna do apart from the basic proposal. So this is one of them. After the implementation part, I have clearly mentioned deliverables the mentor should be expecting from me. I have mentioned clearly here. These are the deliverables from my side. And after that, I have mentioned timeline and milestone. Like I have mentioned, like how before GSoC period, what I will be, what should be my commitment from my side. Like, and also I have divided the whole subtask into on a timely basis. I have created a timeline for like I have created a weekly timeline, but I would not suggest to just go with the weekly timeline. You can choose on your basis. Like if you want a bi-weekly timeline or a fortnightly timeline, that's totally fine. After that, I have also mentioned like what are my plans after GSoC once my project would be over, how I would be going forward with the contribution. I have also mentioned that. Apart from that, I have also mentioned the benefit to the community, like what are the impact that this project will gonna make for to the community, what are the changes we'll be having. So I have clearly mentioned that also. And at the last, I have reserved some space to tell about me, like who I am, what are the skills, what are my skills, what's my coding environment. I have also mentioned that also. The one thing which I would suggest everyone to note that if you are having the past experience regarding the same project, you should definitely mention it in your proposal. Like for this project, I have worked on like earlier. I have worked on my own. Like I have explored what is F-Droid. So this has definitely helped me to finishing this project early. So I have mentioned the whatever the past experience I am having regarding this idea. So I mentioned that. Apart from that, I have mentioned all my open source contribution, which are related to Rocket.Chat and also like all the other organizations which I have contributed to. I have mentioned that in my proposals. That will definitely help your mentor to like get to know if he is comfortable with contributing. Like he is not a noob. Like he's being a noob is not a problem. Like you just have to showcase your mentor that you have done hard enough and you should be selected. So that's the idea behind it. Yeah, here is a comment from my mentor. You can see that. That's also good. Yeah, I think that's all from the proposal side. Next, to next slide. So yeah, so like we have discussed about like how we should get selected and all everything, but like we should also consider the fact that what if you do not get selected? We should also consider that fact also. So what I will say that you don't have to worry at all. Your contribution or your proof of your hard work you have, if you have contributed to a certain code base, the contributions are gonna stay there, no matter if you are gonna selected for GSoC or not. You can use those contribution for your next gig, whatever you are doing, and like at the minimum you have learned something. If you have contributing for this project, you must have learned something. So it does not matter if you got selected or not. You should be like having a high note from your side. Also, you can reapply next year if you want. If you have if you want GSoC as an achievement, you can definitely reapply next year. You must be having a great head start with all your contribution you have already done. Yep. So okay. So that's all from my side. Let's move to Q&A. If you have, if anyone have any queries, they can ask.
Okay, that was good. Do we have any questions? Anybody? Okay, so I like that you know you always get something, right? Even if it's not like if you're not selected, the next year you can go again, and then you can also you have the GitHub contributions that you can do. And one
Yeah.
thing that I thought it was interesting is that you can do that on your own timing. It doesn't need to, you have a whole time to spread the activities around. So don't panic,
Yes.
just go with the flow, just take your time for doing that. uh, I think that's very good. That's very good.
Yep.
So do you have any questions here? Abhishek is writing something. Hello, hello. Guys, feel free, guys and girls, feel free to
Yep.
ask. Don't be shy. Yes, the recording, we are going to record, the session is recorded. We are going to have to edit a little bit, so it's not going to be available right away, but we are going to make it available. So if you are arriving now, you will be able to see not only Govind's talk, but also the other awesome talks we have. Don't worry about that, but feel
Yep.
free to join now.
Yep. Also, I will be sharing my PPT and my proposal so you can use it as a template or you can get some insight from it and build your own proposal on the top of it.
Yeah. Yeah, also those proposals, I think it's very interesting because you can see uh, their proposals and see what's good. This is here is a whole great experience for those who are planning to apply. So
Yep.
take your
Definitely.
time, and even all of the participants, you can find them on our open in Rocket. So also feel free. I'm sure that they are also always able to help, and but the idea is also to, if don't be shy, really ask the
Yep.
questions
Definitely.
into the channel, unless if you're not very comfortable. But don't be shy. Ask on the channel, because with that, other participants can interact and learn from that too, right? And so whenever you direct message someone, that only if it's specific stuff, but those conversations is good to have to share with everybody.
Yes,
Yeah,
you
that's
should
very
like.
good, Govind.
I would suggest like contributors should try to keep the conversation public. Like whatever the issue they are having. Maybe the same issue can be faced by any other contributor also who join later. So if the all the issues and all the solutions are public on the public channel, so it will help the new contributors also.
Yeah, that is very good. Okay, thank you very much, Govind.
Cool,
That was
cool. Thanks a
awesome
lot.
presentation.